let's try this out now on YouTube. There we go. Tags are out, right? I'm pretty sure I put tags. Yeah, I did put tags. Yeah. Okay, so we are good. Oh, I'm gonna listen to what it sounds like over here. So it's only a black screen. Nice.
What is the status of SN21? I think that's going to go to orbit instead of 20.
Yeah, so we were talking about disappointing questions and the whole, is this going to static fire?
Hopefully,
there's a better chance right now looking at that fuel farm with full static fire. But as far as using booster 4 and ship 20, there's a chance that it might not get used. They've already surpassed designs on that combination of booster 4 and ship 20 with booster 5 and ship 21. They already are superior in many ways. So it could be that if we wait too long, those go away.
So yeah, guys, don't worry about it. I'm just gonna
engines replaced, and then that's it.
Yeah, we'll zoom in for y'all.
Ability to stack and other things, and they just use them as testing equipment, because right now ship 21 and booster 5 are pretty much all there. It just needs to be put together. They have all the major segments, and everything is coming along in a very fast-paced SpaceX Starbase fashion. They've been working at them for quite a while here, but they've got the same 29-inch thrust puck on that one. Eventually they're going to go to 33 with the thrust puck here. And pretty much everything says that there's a chance they could skip the booster 4 and ship 21 or 20 to go for 5 and 21 as a superior option. But I hope not, because we like to see things get used that are available.
Yeah, it's sort of a tough call sometimes, especially with their iterative pressures on these ships as they start building ahead. They make a decision to skip sometimes just to get the testing program moving.
Now we actually do have a whole poll about this in Discord, the Discord server under the channel called Speculation Polls. These are just polls that we put together.
So this is actually really beautiful.
Currently, the votes say that 2 people think booster 4 gets skipped. 1 says 20 gets skipped. As far as this Starship, but
just trying to do my homework so far.
Majority of people
while I
believe
wait.
5 and
that's pretty much all I have to worry about.
will not be skipped.
Just one piece of
Polls,
homework.
13 and 19 respectively for 6 and 7 that they think those will get skipped, which makes sense. If 8 is the one with the new 33 engine puck, but it could be that could be 9 or above as well, or even earlier. So you might still see 7 occur. Just they have a paper rocket and they just change the paper. Just change the number around. So who knows on those? Ship 23 and 24. Most people believe certainly that those will be skipped. So there are paper rockets. We've seen that with from 11 to 15. That counting system just doesn't make sense. And from 15 to 20, that one is a huge one. But they do that when things are going really well. So if they want to test like Starship 4 and it works, so they had Starship 5 pretty much ready, they go ahead and confirm that yes, we can do it, it works, and they move on to the next segment of Starships and everything else like that. So they do tend to do some skipping here.
There we go.
Thomas, I made it back.
How's your oven?
Oh, crisis averted. We're all good. I just have to learn to trust myself a little bit more, you know?
But the fuel farm is still looking great. It's producing on the LOX and methane side as far as some vapors coming off of those. So if we do get a static fire, that would be really good news. And I do see a little bit of venting here and there off the bottom of ship 20 side and the front that right now we don't have. Another question? Go for you.
Questions right now. Little speculation here about what's your opinion on them finishing that new high bay by the end of the year?
Well,
Promised before.
yeah, from what I've seen so far, the new high bay is going to be very different than the existing one. So it's kind of hard to really get an idea about, exactly how different it is. But, I've seen a few pictures so far that show some brackets on the structure will have like up to 3 horizontal support structures on top of each other, like mounted on a one bracket. So that's like far more structurally intensive than anything we've seen on the existing high bay. I'm pretty sure that the actual structural steel beams are far a lot thicker than the original ones as well too. So a lot larger steel gauge. The brackets that they attach to are also larger. It's basically going to be similar to the existing one, but everything is larger, not just, it's not going to be the same construction, but a larger building everything is larger. And actually, looking at some of the footings for that building, I'm not going to say they'll be quite this large, but I think we're going to be seeing something similar to the tower columns when it comes to the actual main support structure of the building. There's some very, very large bolts that are embedded in the concrete for those columns, so it'll be interesting to see when those show up. I mean, like I said, they won't be 4 feet in width like the tower columns are, but they'll still be pretty large.
So there's some interesting things about that high bay that are kind of just ones that need to be pointed out. It's actually more like wide bay is what Elon called it, which is a little bit more apt because it is wider than high bay. It has actually, looks like 4 potential points to basically be the ingress and egress for starships and boosters. It's going to be taller than high bay. And so it's basically the midpoints where you have your basically exits and entrances to that building, and you can basically decide which ones you will use and which ones you won't. For instance, the backside of high bay has the area to be basically an egress or ingress point, but they have left all the sheet steel in place, and it's basically a wall. They could cut down at any time if they so choose. As long as it's structurally sound, they could start cutting stuff off. But the current wide bay, at least 4 different points. So I'm thinking that they won't use all 4, just kind of like high bay, and they would use maybe 3. So you have 3 different points you can go through, or 2. So there'll be some interesting things there. And then there's some weird foot pads that are currently in front of that structure as well. It's just a bunch of concrete slabs that they're sticking in. Do you have any guesses or ideas of what they would be doing with those concrete slabs in the front of high bay?
A transition from the outside concrete to the inside concrete flooring?
Yeah, they basically just have probably say about 8 large pads in the front of the building. So it has at least that being the entrance. If not, there's others, but that one would be the one that would be the entrance and exit of this building. It has those 2 pairs of 8 pads that are just massive. I'm trying to figure out what would be going there. There might be even more pads on the way. It's positioned for starships and boosters. Just sit there.
With the 2 cranes, I mean, they'll have the flexibility to move completely around the inside
So for Elon, what he's talking about, the two bridge cranes. I'm talking actually in the front of the building. There's just large concrete pads. So I mean, it's just one of those things that I'm just now privy to and I'm thinking about.
Yeah, it's the latest flyovers on the show. It's kind of nervous.
Okay, so there's just one.
Starting to get some painting potentially from the bottom of the skirt. Tell, but
Well, there's definite deformation in the shadows. You can see that there's some
Close to the
definite,
main opening.
or at least heat distortion is showing that on aerocam.
Yeah. Look,
That's heat deformation of the air, not the heat. It actually looks kind of pressurized. Not sure about that.
we have a new member. I'd like to welcome Evan S. to LabPadre Gold. A few more questions. LR asks, does the recycled metal make its way back into new starships? What happens to scrap metal?
well, we've seen a little bit of what happens with scrap metal earlier this week. There was a post, I believe it was from RGV, and it showed I think it was calling it Iron Man. It was basically what we think may be repurposed starship metal that was used to build a. Oh wow, sorry, I'm just getting distracted by all this venting. It's getting really starting to crank up. I get excited easily. I haven't seen a static fire in quite a
This
while.
is good. This is good. I would love to see a
Yeah,
static
I
fire.
agree with him. It's been
And
a while
we're
as well.
eating lots of crow tonight. We're also going to be listening out for sirens. That would be 10 minutes prior to a static fire event. There was an overpressure notice that basically says the same kind of thing. So this will be interesting. And that you'll also be looking at the roadblock on the Sentinel cam. Once you see a police car, just head off. Usually that's an indication of the siren before the siren even happens. So that is useful to know. Man, that is venting like crazy. Oh, so go back with the LR's question about recycled material, and you were talking about RGB. Supposed work. Or I'm sorry, Cold Boy.
Yeah, so the picture that he posted was basically of a, Iron Man looking, well, very primitive Iron Man looking being on the back of a pickup truck that we can only assume was most likely repurposed Starship stainless steel. Kind of can't really think of another reason for them to bring it here unless that's what it was. But in general, we know that they have a scrapyard at the build site where they basically dismantle all of their tank shells, or sorry, not tank shells, their vehicles, whether it be the actual ring sections or, all of the different domes that they have. But yeah, they strip down all their vehicles, and for the most part, they send everything back to be recycled. And I'm sure that, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if, SN3 or 4 stainless steel. Okay, I'm gonna eat crow if I say this because they changed the stainless steel type.
Jeez.
Had they not changed the stainless steel type, I wouldn't be surprised if SN4 stainless steel was on, Starship 20 somewhere.
From what I understand, the first off the Iron Man picture, I think it was a structural engineer from SpaceX. Is what I think I remember hearing about the tweet. That he was the one who designed and built that Iron Man suit. Elon is a great picture of him out there going, "Wow, what is this?" And it's like also the question of where did this metal come from? But it looks like it's thicker metal than what we typically deal with Starship. It doesn't look like
That's
more
the
metal.
venting coming off the bottom of the LOX tank.
Oh, yep. Actually, that's a skirt down there. And then,
Skirt?
there's venting up on the top. Looks like the LOX tank. Oh my goodness, stuff's happening.
I see
Like
the
we're in game
static
time.
fire.
Okay, now's a good time to take the link for NerdleCam and LabCam. Send them off to your friends, family, whoever, just to let them watch and see a potential static fire here tonight. Because I think we are on. The number of engines, that's the one we don't know. We'll have to look at the replay if we have a static fire to see how many.
That's the question. What's your best step?
Yeah, I just had his barbecue sauce to eat my crow on, so that's already preemptively here, ready to go.
I personally want to see a sea level raptor followed immediately by a vacuum raptor within, a few milliseconds. In my opinion, that kind of makes sense for what they need to be testing right now. If they only have one of each engine on here, as much as I would love to be back here tomorrow to cover the second fire, I think it would be really nice if they just did both at the time. We already know what one sea level is going to do. I guess they could do one vacuum raptor, but just for the fact that it's been several months since we've seen anything, I want to go big and say that they'll do both.
Yeah, we know we have at least one of each, so that gives us the ability to test both of them at the same time, see what kind of interactions with fuel flow or between the Raptors that you should expect to see if there will be anything different. We've done offset firing of Raptors before, but nothing quite like a vacuum.
Yeah, this is a new territory on the vacuum. We have a super chat from Jeff Weiss. Doing a $10. It says root beer and LabPadre and more paper for the seismograph.
Thank you, Jeff.
Definitely need more paper tonight. Seismograph is good. And we have C6R1S has an interesting question. Do you think they should use a one-piece tile for the nose like the shuttle instead of all the individual hexagons? That's an interesting
So they'll use how many pieces for the instead of hexagons? Repeat that again.
He's referring to the shuttle, which had a one-piece tile section for its nose tip.
I think they've got it sorted out pretty much for the nose tip of the starships. Ship 21 by far superior than 20 on how they're doing the nose cone. So it looks like they're still using the RTV compound, which is it's like vulcanized rubber. I can't remember all of a sudden what the RTV stands for, but basically it's a high temperature rubber, or not rubber, a high temperature glue. Usually comes in the color red, at least we saw with Ship 20, but this one seems to be white in color, and they also are using a pin and basically align the tiles so that they do not have to have issues with alignment. So far, it looks really good. The nose cone has a bit of basically looks like a felt material. It's basically the same cable insulator between the tiles, so it prevents the plasma from entering and penetrating into the stainless steel and messing up the nice LOX header tank, which is the landing fuel oxidizer. So it's great to see that the way they are going for those heat shield tiles is very organized, very thorough, very quick. One giant block would be more expensive than a bunch of small blocks. You break a large block, you're in trouble. Like, break a small block, you can replace it, there's multiple copies of it. And they are elongated in this strange hexagon form, but it's still that same kind of hexagon shape. But yeah, I think that one would actually be a worse direction to go.
Okay. Are you still talking? Asked, do you think they have done enough vertical landings of starships to be confident in landing data?
Well, for one, they don't really plan to land them anymore, so I don't know if they really need to really be even doing landing tests anymore, since they don't really plan to land it. Their plan right now is to actually catch the starships basically out of midair. So really, landing doesn't really matter, because of the fact that when they do the first orbital test, and who knows, probably the second one as well, they're actually going to be doing water landings. So they're most likely going to be measuring and relaying the telemetry of the booster back to the launch tower as that's happening. And I can only imagine they'll probably end up doing the same thing with the Starship as well too. You know, the landing on the ground is basically not really going to happen anymore since they don't have any legs on the vehicle. So that question is kind of hard to answer because of that. You know, I guess we have to like just change the way you word it and talk about catching the vehicle instead of landing. Yeah, what do you think, Thomas?
Well, the vehicles have all landed, except for 11. We don't know if that one still's landed yet. But we did find a lot of pieces of metal around. But yeah, the SN8 was the first one to try, and it was so close. It basically was down to a pressurization, and I even think just lack of fuel issue. They went a bit higher on that one as well, so they spent fuel, and that one was just an amazing first attempt. The next ones up till 10 didn't do so great, like 9, but 10 just, that one, it landed, it just didn't stay in one piece. 8 minutes after landing it blew up, and then it wasn't until 15 that we saw basically a fully operable system. The feet on it looked almost like you could reuse them. I saw them in person, they were great. So they do understand how to make it land and how to make it work. All the issues so far have not been with being able to do that part of the system. It's basically been issues with raptors or pressurization, and they played around with pressurization and made some mistakes with helium. And look at that venting on 20, it is getting close. But yeah, I think that they don't really need too much more for landing a Starship. It's now catching a Starship. It's the next big one for Starships, and boosters will be in that same category. Somebody put the idea forth, we do see that venting on the bottom of the Starship. Just above the skirt, the bottom of the skirt section, there's some venting that's happening every once in a while. And the idea is that that could be engine chill. We don't know what that looks like for back wraps, and it seems to be pulsing back and forth between them, so it goes left and right.
Burst of high pressure venting coming out.
Yeah, now we might get some chilling starting here.
The question is, how much fuel do they have on there? It can always be very little, but I don't see any cross lines at all. I typically expect to see something there, so it could be that we're looking at wet dress rehearsal, filling it up with some fuel, but not a lot, and basically going through every procedure as it would normally be. This is a whole new system because they've got basically the potential of 6 Raptors instead of just the 3 that we've seen previously.
All right, Captain 227A asks along these lines, how long does a static fire last?
1 to 3 seconds, typically. So they're not very long. They're very short, brief, and in the post math, it's actually a bit more dangerous depending on how things go, because we've seen things like S20 where the vehicle didn't make it after the fact, even though we had a static fire. It was still hot on the nozzles, and there was a fuel connection issue that they basically had. They could disconnect. Basically, when they reconnect, it said, "Hey, I'm fine, I'm connected," and it didn't stay seated. And so when they went to pull the fuel out of the system, they just started dumping the LOX and the methane, and they were mixing together in basically a perfect ratio. And it was basically an air-gas explosion on that one. So there could be fireworks, not only basically before or after or during a static fire. There's just, you never know what could happen. I hope we are past the days where things just blow up on a test stand, because we've pretty much understood most of that, but vacuum Raptors could break. We've never had them in a vertical position on a Starship before.
Okay, we have a super chat from Kelsey Smith, $10 donation. I'd like to thank him. He's donating another overpriced cafeteria lunch to the cause. Go Nerdles, go LabPadre, go Mons.
Thank you, Kelsey. Actually, you see another one as well from Gary McDermott. He just donated $10. Thank you so much, Gary.
Now let's get back to normal.
And he just says, thank you, LabPadre.
I love Gary. Always donating.
I'm going to
That's my
donate to them.
Uber driver, Gary. Thank you, Gary.
Thank you very much. Gator ass. They are going to have legs sooner or later if they plan to land on the moon and Mars. Yes, no?
They could have Mars. I'm sorry, legs again. Well, boy, what do you think? Where do you think they'll go with that?
You know, landing legs on Mars, I don't really think that I feel like they have no choice, but that's going to require a prepared landing area. I really going to have to see like what they plan to do as far as preparing landing areas in order to really comment on that. They really haven't talked about it much, and it's kind of far into the future as far as things that they actually need to be actively planning for. I mean, you're not gonna ship a orbital launch tower over to Mars in order to catch the vehicle. And even if you
Chicken
do
or
that-
the egg? Which one comes first?
Exactly. So, yeah, I mean, you're gonna have to have some sort of landing legs at some point, unless you're just gonna lightly belly flop onto the surface of Mars. So yeah, I mean, I'm assuming they're gonna have to be present somewhere. You know, where, I guess, is the question. But at some point, I guess we'll see a return of the landing legs.
Yeah, and they're specialty items. So the moon and Mars, there'll be special ships with special legs and equipment for each
Let's go
base.
ask.
Yeah, one thing that not a lot of people really know or remember, Mark 1 made here at Starbase
That's
was
right.
capable of having landing legs that were functional. It was a different kind of system. It wasn't hydraulics. It was basically, they were brakes. So you basically land on the surface and they basically create resistance with those brakes and
Right.
continue to
So,
stabilize the
let's
vehicle
have my stuff.
as it's stopping and basically hitting the ground, so that you can have a
For
uneven
school,
terrain
'cause
be
I'm too
allowed
cool
underneath
for
the vehicle up to a
school.
certain point. And they decided, well, we're going to go from these expensive advanced systems to something very cheap for these other later models, because these might not make it. And honestly, they didn't. The other systems didn't make it on a few of those vehicles.
Hey, Thomas, it looks like we have a siren.
I'm hearing reports of a siren.
Ooh, we got some header tank venting.
Okay, we're gonna go
Siren.
and let everybody listen in peace, because there's audio. You want to turn it up, but after the sag fire, turn it back down, because we'll jump back in and we might be loud. So, talk to you guys later.
See you soon.
I'm gonna go call my friend on Discord. Let's get another camera. What's the Raptorus? So blurry, bro. You can't see sheesh from here. Nerdle Cam's the best. So guys, this is it. There was no what is it called? This is kind of behind. Call a friend in Discord. Just 17, 18. Oh, only 10 seconds off. That's pretty nice. Alright, 23:30. So about 4 minutes. They're going to exactly do it. Oh frick. My pen rolled off. It's alright. Maybe I'll call my friend. Hopefully he answers the call. Come on. I need him. I'm trying to call my friend Trudy.
Hey Josh.
Trey, watch my YouTube channel. They're about to do a testing again on Starship. SpaceX, finally. Get on my YouTube channel right now. Well, actually, no, call me on Discord.
Dude, I do your homework right now.
I know. It's fine.
I should know already.
Just watch my YouTube channel, okay? I'm live right now.
Alright.
Okay, I'll see you later. Bye.
Alright.
Alexa, play the radio station at the 8.5K Fox.
98.5 Fox from
Okay,
Odyssey.
don't take me down for copyright. I swear to gosh. Alexa, lower volume by 1. Oh shoot, here we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. Starship number 20. That was depressing. My steak's well done. It's not the actual static fire. second now we can get the static fire. So we shall wait, guys. Alexa, off. So we just had a static fire. Well, not it's not an actual static
Well,
fire.
all right. That was fun.
Wait, what?
Wow.
That was neat.
Was
Bit of pre-burner action?
Yeah, pre-burner for sure. And we still have a slight dynamic fire, just slight. Not sure what's on fire there. I knew you shouldn't put a cardboard in between things. I have no idea what that actually is.
Yeah, I heard T-minus Liv was out there throwing some chairs earlier, so it could be one of the ones that were left on the pad.
Nice live.
She throws chairs all over the place.
Ah,
Man, this
okay.
is like this is they actually cleared that area.
Okay, so guys, it's not over yet. So that's the good news. But that was a pre-burner, so we saw just a few moments ago. It was not too long ago. Try to get to the point. It was from 39-ish. Here. So as of right here, that wasn't really a static fire. Technically it is, but it's just a pre-burner test, so it wasn't a full duration and stuff. So we're okay for now.
Because there's kind of a box shape there. Yeah. Go back to earlier today, kind of look at what that was and spot it.
So yeah.
Thing there.
Yeah.
Man, that's exciting. You have to go back and look at it on all the different cams. Rover cam is really zoomed in. It's the closest cam as well. What was the exact time on that here? It was 23:39.
I'd like to welcome Pete 2.0, new member. Welcome to the club.
Well, hold on. I think Pete 2.0 upgraded. He's a rocket member.
Yeah, it says welcome new member. Whatever.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Yeah, I'm looking at the exact seconds here as well. Okay, there we go. 23:39 and about 10 seconds is when you get to see it on Rover Cam, and
Yeah, it makes
Wow.
sense.
that is quite the fireball. It looks definitely to be a vacuum raptor off to the side as well. So it's not just in the center, it's probably just a vacuum raptor that they were testing to do the pre-burner test, basically all the ignition testing, and it starts everything up except it does not release the fuel. So this is what you would see on, let's say, an aborted launch, is something like this as well, at least on one engine. The other thing is to also note is that when they are doing a launch or even other static fires with multiple engines, you will see basically the flames come out down one at a time in very rapid succession. So you could go back and forth between the frames and see that there is maybe 1 or 2 frames
So
in
yeah.
between one starting and the next. And there's
It's
a total of
not-
6,
it's
and they
not
have to do
bad,
something
guys,
kind of
but
like that with the staggering
I don't
or it's
see
super heavy.
any
So
depressed
you'll see all these engines
I don't see
turning on,
anything
probably
depressing.
parallel to each other, or
Which is a good
opposite each
sign
other.
for mentally and literally
And
right
it's just
now.
kinda going
So
around in a circle where
there's
it's
no
like
depress events going on right now,
start up all
which
the
is like
engines.
pretty much
You have some
good
very
news. So
interesting dynamics there.
All right. We got Luca with a $3 super chat donation. Thank you, Luca. And we have Josh the Cosmo Wizard with a $5.
oh, here we go.
And he asks, you think we will see a starship land on Titan in our lifetime?
There's a chance. There's definitely a high probability of a chance to see a starship land on Titan. Plenty of methane. The oxidizer, questionably not so much, but you could definitely land it on Titan. They've got plenty of methane. It's just finding a nice source of oxygen, and that might just be available in the regolith right on Titan. So, well, or whatever you would call the particular soil or rock in that on that celestial body.
That would put that rumored nuclear generator to good use.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So
I started
speaking
a
of
thing.
which, that was the description of an old article from last year that was brought again new, and this time I found it and saw it and went, oh my goodness, they have nuclear capabilities for rockets like these, not just a nuclear-powered rocket, but for power and whatnot. And so that's going to be an amazing step
Wow,
for
what have I
like
started?
as a game changer for spotty reactors and Mars colonization and things like that.
So, Thomas, I think maybe now might be a good time to explain exactly what a pre-burner is, just so people can kind of get an idea of why there would be fire during a pre-burner test. So, I don't know. Do you want to do this one, or?
This one gets a bit complicated without showing the actual things. I don't know if I could describe it
Okay.
verbally, but you want to give it a shot?
Yeah, sure.
Go
So,
back and forth.
You have two pre-burner pumps, or two turbo pumps that feed the actual Raptor engines, and one of those turbo pumps is going to have an oxidizer-rich mixture, and the other one is going to have a fuel-rich mixture. And because there's an actual mixture, once you send that mixture through the turbo pumps and you actually push it through the engines, it's still going to ignite because you're actually combining them together. And there is a chance that it's not an auto ignition necessarily, but they could actually have some sort of, I'm going to guess, some sort of sparks underneath, similar to, what do they call it with the space shuttle engines, the
Igniters.
yeah, the igniters. So essentially to burn off that excess fuel mixture that's sitting down there. And I could be wrong. I don't think that ignition is necessarily the vehicle doing that, but them burning off that fuel mixture below.
Well, the
after
Raptors have
having that.
spark plugs instead of the
Right.
igniters, so they actually create like a spark with gas, and it
Right.
creates an arc. It's kind of like a combustion engine in that sense. But one thing to kind of clarify on is that these are the pre-burners for those basically main body pumps. So above the main the main system, you're basically is the pre-burner. It is the part that is spinning the turbine to start up the system and spin the fuel into the system and allow the main fuel system to burn. So this is before you have all that. You basically close off the main valves and keep them closed for the fuel. And what you're dealing with right here is just basically the primers. They're the primers before you basically pump all of that through your Raptor engine. What is moving over there? We have Zeus. Zeus is on site.
What?
Oh, check that out.
Yeah.
Boston Dynamics robot dog on NerdleCam right now.
Yo, look, it's the robot
Little
dog.
tiny light moving around.
Let's go.
Yeah. It's
the
walking
light.
like a Zeus, talking like
Yeah,
a
right
Zeus.
there.
It's a Zeus.
That's the walking dog. Let's go.
Man, I would have never thought that one.
Just looking at the screen, checking to see if there's any fires still going, and I didn't see any. But I guess Zeus's doghouse is over there, and now he's gonna go inspect some things and go, okay, this looks good. Yeah, I think they have them backboned on the Wi-Fi, if I remember right. That's how these things really work. So they get a good data transmission and get good signal, and they have all the visuals they'd ever want from a great vantage point. Drones are a little bit harder to look up, and they like to hit stuff and break. The other issue is sparks. They don't want to cause any sparks in case there's something else going on. Zeus is perfectly set up for doing that. I think there was originally an issue that they had fixed to prevent sparks from Zeus or any other Boston Dynamics robot that is meant for going around checking for methane and other things. But if I remember right,
The issue, his little feet were making sparks. while
Wait,
he was
is my
walking.
stream still on?
something like that. Either the feet
did I
could
accidentally
or
end it
would
by
potentially
accident?
create sparks.
Oh crap.
Gotta get him rubber galoshes.
Now they have multiple.
Okay, it's good we're still
robot
on.
arms, right?
Yeah, there's
Yeah, there's
Zeus
two.
and Atlas. So that could be Atlas or Zeus. I can't tell from this far away here.
We'd like to thank Jonathan Penberthy. He just upgraded to LabPadre Elite. Good choice. Well, with
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
with the robot dog out there, I think we got a static fire coming, or are they just inspecting for the night?
I think they're inspecting for the night. There's not much time left here. There was one notice that said the closure was until 1. Another that was a closure until midnight. And I think that midnight is more correct.
Yeah.
So there's kind of two different ones, but they'll probably start clearing up the roadblock here, and you'll see them probably headed to the pad within the next 10-15 minutes here.
So we have some more closures later this week, correct?
Yes, we do. Tomorrow night, same routine, I believe. And Thursday, Friday backups, I think.
Lovely. Well, I'll be here
Yeah.
for it.
I'll probably not be able to do a live reaction on that because, I'm in school, so sucks.
But the oomph is appreciated. So as long as everything went okay today, or well, actually, sometimes it'll be okay and they'll just cancel out the next date because they don't need it anymore. So keep your eyes posted on the area access and Discord for those of you who have LabPadre membership on Discord, because that does show all of the dates currently available. And yeah, tomorrow's still on the books, but that could change anytime. So, do we have any other questions, or do you guys want to go ahead and wrap up for tonight?
We have one more question. I'm not sure if we want to really get into this tonight. Ryan S. asks, any thoughts on today's FAA meeting?
It was very usual, and it was great to get so many different inputs from such a diverse number and varied groups of people. That was quite interesting, to say the least. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, it was a diverse group of opinions. It's always hard to tell from something like that what's going to happen, but it's always interesting to hear all the different dynamics that are going on.
Yeah. We talked about this for quite a bit after the FAA meeting as well, and some of the implications or the different stances that people have on different things. The one that they keep, the opposition, I guess you could say, for SpaceX that they keep mentioning isn't quite right, and I'll briefly put it this way: the area known as Sanchez, it's an old oil and gas site. That's who technically still owns the land is Sanchez, at least on the property maps. The way that it looks like it works is that Sanchez owns the site, and Lone Star Energy LLC is subleasing or leasing that site, and part of that site is then subleased to SpaceX. So Lone Star Energy LLC is the one who owns the oil rig in the canal. That is an oil rig that is for SpaceX landing ships and things like that. But there could be a chance that what they would really like to do is be able to produce not only their own blocks, but also methane at that facility. And that would be pretty much either for, well, at least for the methane side, it'll probably be under Lone Star Energy. They might also buy up the basically the blocks generation plant as well. Oh, there is Zeus again. But as far as the way that it works is that all has to go through its own approval and planning process, as well as EPA things, everything there. That's basically a separate entity from SpaceX. So that's one thing that people are confusing. That SpaceX has got this plant over there. As far as the ownership and leasing goes, it's pretty...
Well, guys, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna wrap it up. So, thank you guys for watching. See you guys later. Goodbye.